Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. I have tons of other content such as movies, TV, comics, etc. So make sure you give me a subscribe. It helps support me. So getting into This Week in Star Wars Canon, I usually talk about everything new in the Star Wars universe, such as the comics, the novels, the video games, the TV series. So this week we had two new Star Wars comics. First off, we have Darth Vader number 3. This is the Chosen One Part 3. So this is the new run of Darth Vader, and basically what he is doing in this arc is getting his red lightsaber. In order for him to do that, he has to track down a Jedi, kill him, bleed his crystal so it turns red. In order for him to do that, he actually tracked down this Jedi Master named Kirak Infil'a, who is on the Barash vow, which basically means that he was kind of on his own from the Jedi Order. He was not getting involved with the politics. He took this vow. All he does is focus on the Force. So this issue, we have Darth Vader and Kirak Infil'a coming face to face and getting locked in awesome combat. And it's as awesome as that sounds because Kirak Infil'a is supposedly one of the greatest Jedi warriors ever. Like, this guy is a complete badass, and he is the one type of person who would make a great adversary for a young Darth Vader. So getting into some things I really enjoyed about this particular issue. First off, Kirak Infil'a is a great foil to Darth Vader. I feel like this character hopefully won't be killed off right away because there's a lot of potential. I liked how he alluded to knowing how the Jedi were purged and how he felt that feeling, sort of like what Obi-Wan felt in A New Hope when he felt like all these people died. He felt Order 66. And then when Vader came to him, that's when he said his Barash vow is over. This was his calling to make a stand against Darth Vader. And well, we kind of all really know what's going to happen, we think. Unless Charles Soule does something crazy out of left field and this character stays around a little bit longer. So I really enjoyed that. Next thing I liked about this was right in the beginning we have Darth Vader and we have Kirak Infil'a, and they're basically using the Force powers. I especially liked Vader. He instantly went for that Force choke, and Kirak Infil'a is so powerful he was able to actually negate the effects and push Vader away. So it was really neat seeing those Force powers, and I liked how Kirak Infil'a kind of made a trial for Vader to get through. So he wasn't going to phase Vader right away because, well, he might not be worthy enough. So he actually pitted him through these trials that supposedly the other Jedi went through on this particular planet. So first off, Vader was basically put in underneath water. This dam kind of like unleashed this water, and he does the Moses thing and he separates the water using the Force. It looked like spectacular in the comic. Another thing that was cool was when he went onto this bridge and there was these vulture, I think they're called Raptorans or something like that, basically these overgrown raptors, vulture things coming at him, and well, he was just fighting these things off, like snapping their necks with the Force. It was just completely badass. And throughout this whole journey of Vader going up this mountain to get to Kirak Infil'a, you slowly see his armor starting to deteriorate to the point where his armored leg is exposed, and it's just awesome seeing this represented into a comic. You got these ripples in his armor, and he is looking so worn down that by the time of the comic ending, you just see that, wow, Vader, he might have met his match. What makes it really good is the artwork. And at first I criticized the artwork, but I think I'm getting used to it, and it's just looking fantastic right now. Vader's armor looks a little bit off, but other than that, I gotta give it to him, especially with Kirak Infil'a. I really like the design of that character. So moving on to the next comic we had this week is Dr. Aphra number 9. So this is the first issue after the Screaming Citadel arc. So what we have is this arc that's going to be called Dr. Aphra and the Enormous Prophet Part 1. So I already like that kind of humorous title. So what's going on from this is the continuation from what happened in the aftermath of Screaming Citadel. So she still has the Crystal of Rur, who's got the presence of the AI of this ancient Jedi, and well, she's planning on selling that to the highest bidder. So she goes about getting all these criminal syndicates together and throwing this party and basically just having everybody bid for this thing. And that's kind of what this entire story is going into, is will she become rich after this? So going into some things I liked about this is just seeing all the criminals. You got some like Powans there, you got these new Rhodian looking cyborg people which are really cool looking, you got a Hutt in there. So a lot of diverse species, which that's my favorite thing in Star Wars, is just seeing all these different otherworldly creatures kind of represented in one space. Really nice. Speaking of which, there is this one character named Torn, and I looked this up before the video because I knew he looked familiar. So apparently this is a common thread in these Marvel Star Wars comics, is there's a character named Torn. And he first appeared in Lando, then the next time we seen him it was Poe Dameron, and now we see him in this. And he is this alien that can't speak Galactic Basic, so he usually has these other creatures translate for him. And, well, in Poe Dameron at least, we've seen these pixie creatures, and at least in this we see him with the pixie creatures again that kind of speak for him. So it's nice seeing that guy kind of pop up like the Stan Lee of the Star Wars Marvel comics. Another thing I want to talk about is Dr. Aphra's appearance in this. So she cleans up really well, I must say, and she puts on this different appearance and kind of glitzes it up, as she likes to say in this issue. It is really funny, because at first when I seen her I was like, is this a new character? I literally was like, is this Dr. Aphra or is this a new character? So that was really interesting. And finally, to finish out the issue, we have the droids of 000 and BT having ulterior motives, or having second thoughts for what's going on. They think that Dr. Aphra might be deactivating them. So who do they call but Darth Vader? And that's where it leaves off on a cliffhanger. Are they going to tell her that Dr. Aphra's, or are they going to tell him that Dr. Aphra is still alive? How will he react? It's going to be super interesting. And the artwork by Kev Walker is fantastic. So they had a different artist, I forget his name, for the Screaming Citadel arc, and it looked very anime-ish. But now we're back to Kev Walker, who did the first arc of Dr. Aphra, and it looks great. I love the coloring too as well in this issue. Just very vibrant colors, very animated type character designs, and it just fits so well in Star Wars. I love it. So that is going to do it for another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon, but I want to know what you guys thought of Darth Vader number 3. What did you think of the battle between Infil'a and Vader, and what did you think of Dr. Aphra number 9? Are you liking where the story is going, continuing with that mysterious crystal of an ancient Jedi? Let me know in that comment section below. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I have a new episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon pretty much every Wednesday, so you can always look forward to that. If you're subscribed, you'll get the updates, the notifications for that. So I am Starrapter. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you always. So did you like the video? Then make sure you rate it a thumbs up, and if you did that, go over there, hit that Starrapter head to subscribe to my channel. Doing so will keep you up to speed on all of my latest content. Speaking of which, you can see a couple of my recent uploads down below. I'm also on social media, so what are you waiting for? Let's start nerding out.